Following from yesterday's reel, today I want to talk about my personal relationship with trust. When I started my spiritual journey, not only did I have zero trust, I had negative trust. I actively distrusted people. I expected people to disappoint, to fail, to betray, or just in general be human. And that was my whole perspective on humanity is that people have a shadow and people cannot be trusted because people have a very strong unconscious and they will end up acting out of it, which means that they will end up hurting me. And so it's better not to trust them, it's better to protect myself, and it's better to just stay safe, which means I would have walls up around me all the time, which means no one could really get close to me. If someone did get close to me, either I would do something to sabotage it and push them away, or I would just actively kill it. I could not allow intimacy and vulnerability beyond a certain level. And this relationship to humanity meant that I couldn't trust myself because I was human. And this created a split within me which would make my human rejected and make me identify as someone who's beyond human, which would put me into this split polarity of either I cannot be trusted at all because I have a human element, or I am perfect. And I could only be between these two aspects internally. On the outside, I would wear a mask and project and say the right things, but internally, I would hold myself to a standard that I have to either be perfect, the most loyal person in the world, people pleasing, never betraying, or I am the complete opposite and I can just walk away and have no loyalty. So, this inner split was created because I couldn't accept a basic truth, a basic reality that trust is not about perfection. Trust is not about not letting people hurt you. Trust doesn't mean that either I or others have to be perfect all the time. Trust was basically, as I started evolving and growing, the understanding started coming that trust allows for change. Immature trust demands everything remains the same, and that is a way of trying to control and prevent anything from hurting you. But when I started coming into a more mature version of trust, the key was to realize that when people change, it's okay. It's not betrayal, it's just change. That is just life. And if I can allow that, that means I can trust people because I'm also coming into trusting myself that I can deal with change. If things change and it's painful for some time, and that means that after some time it will stop hurting. And during that time, I will be able to deal with it. I trust myself enough to be able to deal with the pain of change. Learning to trust was a practice for me. It wasn't something that happened overnight. And it was a choice because there's a lot of narrative all over the world that keeps reinforcing and encouraging distrust. The question for you is why should you even choose trust? It's so much easier not to trust people. It's so much easier to expect people to be imperfect, and that means that not to be in pain because you expect them to hurt you. The reality is that even if you choose to distrust people, it still hurts. But by choosing to distrust people, you're constantly in pain because you're constantly behind walls. You constantly do not allow yourself to experience life fully, to feel intimacy, to feel vulnerability, to feel real, deep, true, genuine connection. You are starving yourself of that by choosing to doubt, by choosing to not trust. So by choosing to trust, you are able to feed yourself all of that. This is what I was able to gain in my life was through genuine connection with beautiful, wonderful people. And this doesn't mean that I trust that they will be there forever and they will not leave, but I will no longer see it as betrayal. Even if we made a commitment to each other that we will be together forever and we will always be with each other, there is a mature understanding that life brings change. People change. Commitments end. But if it is seen from a mature, healthy place, firstly, you stop making immature commitments. You make real, grounded commitments that you can stand behind. And you also receive such commitments from people who are mature, from people who are grounded, who make realistic commitments, who allow for change in their own lives, who can honor themselves that when something has moved on, we all move on. And there is no hard feelings about it. There is no need to feel like something bad happened or something wrong happened. With this kind of freedom, with this kind of flexibility, it just allows for life to keep evolving and being an adventure and to be enjoyable. Because many of the times, the things we keep holding on to, the things we keep trying to control, we are not even enjoying them anymore. But we don't want to let them go just because we don't want to feel pain for some time. So instead, we choose to stay in pain constantly. We choose to stay in suffering endlessly because we don't want to feel that pain of separation. And when that separation happens, a lot of people suffer simply because we create the story in our head that that was an abandonment, that was a rejection, I am not good enough, they don't like me, and all kinds of stories that we invent, which are just stories. And sometimes life just moves on. Things changed, and so what? If you can just stick to the simple facts, the reality that just life changed, end of story. When your inherent self worth is intact, everything is fine. When you don't start criticizing yourself, when you don't start creating stories about your own self worth, when you have respect for yourself, when you have love for yourself, and you realize that the other person also has love for themselves, and if they decided to leave or you decided to leave, there's no reason to feel guilty, there's no reason to feel betrayed, there's no reason to feel abandoned and rejected. It's just life. It's just normal. It's really, really normal. Just allow it to happen. Just let it be what it is. Feel the pain for some time without any story. Real pain, not suffering that's created by a story. Just real pain. Feel it, and you will see that life moves on. Life brings new opportunities, new people, new amazing situations, new adventures, which are available to you if you have let go and you have moved on. But if you stay stuck in the past, stay trying to control and hold on to something that's not serving you or anyone else, you are also not open to new opportunities. You're staying with your blinders, you're staying blindfolded, you're putting your head in the sand, and you just keep missing all the wonderful things that life has to offer to you. This is what I have experienced. It's just so much joy when I learned how to let go and just trust that whatever is happening is great as it is now. And when it ends, it's fine. There is some pain, and there'll be other great things coming. This has been the most powerful transformation that I have gone through. Going from distrust, active distrust, to learning to trust myself, learning to trust others, and mainly, truly learning to trust life by realizing that life is on my side. And if something ends, it's for me because there are other wonderful things coming. And I can go through the pain, and I don't need to tell myself that wonderful things are coming, so I don't need to feel pain. I go through the pain, I feel the pain, and then eventually wonderful things come because that's life. It's ups and downs. If I go through the downs, there will be ups. If I go into the ups, there will be some downs, and it's okay. I just keep flowing, I just keep enjoying whatever is happening, including accepting and allowing the pain. It's not joy in this happy, ecstatic sense, but there's a joy in appreciating the experience that was, in feeling that pain, feeling that loss. There is a joy in actually having experienced that wonderful experience, in having met that wonderful person, in having loved. Loss is an appreciation of the love that was experienced. Allow yourself to experience that. Allow yourself to appreciate what happened instead of turning it into something disgusting just because you don't want to feel the pain. And then you will never even feel the appreciation because it has just turned so sour, so bitter, and so painful just because you are holding on and making it more and more suffering. If you allow to let it go at the right time, it's really truly beautiful. The loss is painful, but it's a beautiful pain. It's not this horrendous pain of suffering. It's just true beauty. And that is what trust allows us. Trust allows that I can let go at the right time. So, do you choose to start trusting? Are you ready to start trusting? Are you ready to give yourself this gift and this relief of trusting, where you don't have to control anything, where you can just experience life as it keeps flowing? Are you ready for this?